Okay, everyone, welcome back. Hello. So today I've been told by my director that I need to get up with the times a little bit more on YouTube and keep up with some of the other reviewers. So we're going to keep the format of the video much shorter, and I've got to use certain key phrases apparently just to kind of chime in with the way other reviewers talk. So yo, what's up? It's your boy, Mr. Smelly. S to the M to the E to the double L to the Y, because I want to. Now, before we get into the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. You know it makes sense. And of course, click the bell icon so you can be notified every time that I release a video, because you don't want to miss out. And now also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. So now on to today's fragrance. It's going to be Milano Cento Him. What? We're running short of time. Milano Cento Him, an aromatic fougere fragrance, which I really enjoy, and apparently that's all we've really got time for today. So I'm going to end the video. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, peace out. Then do what? Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. So, of course, luckily we do have a little bit more time than that available for today's review. Luckily, I was only joking, no shots being fired at any other reviewers. I do like all the other reviewers out there, from people who talk for 25 minutes about one fragrance to people who do lots more top 10s and do 10 fragrances in 5 minutes. It's all fine. I like all the styles out there. And people who say things are not like it used to be in the fragrance community, well, actually, we have more reviewers than we ever had and more choice than ever. There are still people who do it in the old school way, and there are people who do more modern styles of video. So, you know, if you want something to watch about fragrances, there's never been a better time, and I like all the different reviewers. There's no one I don't like out there. Right, so today's fragrance, Milano Cento Him, a re-release in 2016 of something originally released back in the 80s, an aromatic fougere barbershop style fragrance with a hint of Italian sophistication, I'm trying to say, we're going with it. So really, really nice fragrance. And here is a little bit more key information that I recorded for you, and in true 80s style, run VT. So Milano Cento was first released in the UK back in 1989. According to the company, it was inspired by the classic sophistication of all things Italian. The fragrance became quite successful and was available in department stores around the country. However, a few years later, that's at some point in the early 90s, commercially things didn't work out and the fragrance was withdrawn from production. Fast forward about a quarter of a century, and I think one of the family of one of the gentlemen who originally was responsible for the company had a bottle around the house, and they decided to get it recreated for his 50th birthday. They looked into this and found that getting a single bottle of fragrance made for somebody based on an old bottle isn't that easy, and the whole thing snowballed from there. And eventually the wife of the gentleman who first started the company seems to have been the main player in this, and they basically gone ahead and just relaunched the whole fragrance to the world again, or at least to us lucky enough in the UK to be able to get it. So today's Milano Cento has a similar bottle to the old one, but slightly revamped. We can see the advertising image there, the black and white image, maybe somewhere in rustic Italy. Definitely a retro feel about the way they're marketing this one. Let's see how they describe the fragrance that we're going to get today if we buy it. So, inspired by the wonderfully diverse aromatic plants of Italy, Milano Cento Him opens with zesty, sparkling notes of lemon, bergamot, and green petitgrain. Herbaceous notes of lavender and rosemary combined with the intensity of basil and clary sage, so I suppose those are the mid notes, and that's followed by rich sensual sandalwood and patchouli, spicy clove, cinnamon, amber, and warm musks which live in the memory and in the heart. This sophisticated men's fragrance helps us to create new memories, but also to look to the past, encouraging us to keep the memory alive. So Milano Cento is available as an eau de toilette, or Milano Cento Him, I should say, to give it its full name that they're giving it now, and it's a 50ml eau de toilette natural spray, which retails at £29.50, or 100ml is just £49.50, so pretty good value for something of a niche fragrance. It made my top 5 niche barbershop scents video, so as you can see, I'm a fan. So let's find out a little bit more about what I think about this fragrance and why I think you should be interested in it. Right, so that was some key information about Milano Cento. Really nice fragrance, this one. So got some on my hand here. I've had it maybe a year. I haven't used that much, but I've got so many fragrances. It's one of the contradiction of being a fragrance enthusiast and reviewer, that you've got so many, you don't get a chance to wear very many things, for a whole week in a row and really get to know them inside out. But I think I know this one pretty well. Lemon, bergamot, and petitgrain in the opening. A lovely, fresh, sparkling feel in the opening, but it's not hugely citrusy, and there are loads of other notes in there, and that they get involved right from the off. So it's not a citrus aromatic. It's not predominantly a citrus fragrance, but it does have some significant freshness coming from those lovely citrus notes, and a bit of that Italian, kind of a feel of Italian fresh air, and just that subtle waft of some citrus in the air, but not like you're really digging your nose into a lemon or anything, but a nice fresh opening. And in the mid, you've got lavender, rosemary, basil, and clary sage, so some typical aromatic fougere mid notes. Those are the aromatics. Love a bit of lavender in a fragrance myself. I know it's a really simple and quite inexpensive fragrance, I think, to put in a scent, but I always like lavender. I love the smell of lavender on its own, and it just gives that feel of that gentleman in the picture that they have for their advertising, talking to the lady on the bicycle, and maybe that field near them has some fresh lavender just wafting through the air. Really, really pleasant, aromatic, herbal element, very herbal and herbaceous scent, this one. Which brings me to some comparisons. So I would say it's definitely an aromatic fougere, and it really reminds me of a lot of my favourites. Even, let's go back to the original Fougere Royale from Hubigant from the 1880s, I think. Really, this fragrance sits alongside that a little bit as one I would reach for in the same move. This one just a little bit fresher, this one a little bit more dense and deep, but both very classy and elegant, and with some very nice aromatics in them. On a different note, Paco Rabanne's Pour Homme from the 70s. I've got a vintage bottle, and if you're lucky enough to sample the old formula, this has that really bright, zesty, natural kind of smell of some herbs and aromatic notes in it, which I really enjoy in both. This one, again, more modern smelling actually than my old bottle of Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, and actually puts me in mind also of another one with a healthy dose of lavender, Sartorial from Penhaligon's, and they both got this depth in the base, and it kind of a bit like you've taken Fabergé Brut and updated it for the 21st century and made it with slightly better ingredients. So they both, this one sits alongside a little bit Penhaligon's Sartorial in the kind of mood I would wear in. Maybe this one just, again, a touch more citrusy and fresh than that one, but pretty close actually overall. Then we get in the base, sandalwood, patchouli, clove, amber, cinnamon and musks. Now it does have this musky, manly undertone in there. So I talked about Kouros in the last video as a really musky fragrance, even Yves Saint Laurent's Kouros, and this one has a little bit of that manly muskiness, but much less of it as a percentage of its role in the fragrance. But it does have that underlying 80s manliness to it, but that's dialed down and balanced more with the fresh citrus elements to make this much more contemporary, and I would say a timeless kind of fragrance. That's why I'm calling this video a 10 out of 10, so I'm giving the mark away a perfect 10. I really, really like it. It's got that warmth and sweetness as well from amber and cinnamon maybe in there, and it does have tonka listed as an ingredient on the box, which looks like this. So I'm saying there's a bit of a tonka feel. So it's a really classic aromatic fougere fragrance notes, and it reminds me a little bit of Xerius, just a little bit from the 1980s from Givenchy, in that it's got that amber. Xerius, I think, has incense as well, but there's a little bit of a warming sweetness in the undertone of Milano Cento. Other things you'll be likely to be a fan of if you like this one. Rive Gauche Pour Homme from 2003 from Yves Saint Laurent, another one that both have a little bit of a shaving foam aromatics vibe. Lovely, lovely fragrances, all of those, and this one sits right alongside them. Differences with this one, I think it's a little bit leaning at the fresher end of the aromatic fougere game, which is probably a good thing. It has less of the musky, old school undertones that might put you off things like Azzaro Pour Homme or maybe Paco Rabanne Pour Homme. Has a really nice citrus sparkling element, but that's balanced very much with the others. It's not predominantly citrus-esque or citric fragrance, but it does have that element to it. And the warming combination of the woodiness in the base with the sandalwood, a little bit of sweetness and lovely herbaceous aromatics just make it a perfectly balanced fragrance. So really, really versatile. It's going to be probably of more interest to people in their 30s and upwards, but I think absolutely any age can wear this one. It's very, very versatile scent. I've mainly worn it as a daytime scent. I think performance is good. I think it has a nice, appropriate projection that you can still wear it to work. It's not in your face, but it's good. It performs quite well, particularly when you get close, but it doesn't throw out a load of huge projections. So it's not going to fill a room, and the notes smell very natural. Sometimes more synthetic notes can be a bit more powerful, so you have to sacrifice that a bit if you want a really nice natural smell. So decent, good performer, but not spectacular in projection. Longevity, I think, really, really nice and good. Stays for a long time on the skin and on clothes, and develops nicely from a little bit more bright and sparkling in the opening, and then in the mid you get more of a warming, ambery, musky feel, but still with some of the herbs hanging in there to give it a certain green freshness throughout its life. Season-wise, it suggests to me a lovely spring day with a hint of some different herbs in the air. Maybe it's a day in 1989. Maybe you're lucky enough to be somewhere in Italy, in a rustic part of Italy, or maybe in Milan or something like that. Really nice, sophisticated smell that does conjure up the image of a well-groomed Italian man on a spring afternoon. What could be better than that? Obviously, you can wear it at night too, but if you want something really sort of in your face or seductive, then it's more clean, well-groomed, and elegant and refined rather than in your face, sexy and irresistible. So bear that in mind. Certainly good for summertime too. You can wear it in autumn and fall, autumn and winter, fall, whatever you want to call the season in between summer and winter. It would work fine all year round, but it has a clean, well-groomed feel. And if you want something with big projection or seductive richness, of course, for maybe winter nights, then this is not in that category. So very, very versatile. And to me, although it achieves that very nice thing of having a retro feel, but not feeling dated and feeling somewhat timeless. So a bit like things like Penhaligon, which are still popular with young people. It's very popular now. You see a lot more traditional looking barber shops. So these the idea of these sort of aromatic fougères ties in really nicely with that. And this one is one that you can wear today without feeling dated. So I really like that about it. Satisfying enough for someone who likes retro things like me, but not dated for people who don't want to look out of place in the 21st century. So a real brilliant re-release from the House of Milano Cento. It's the only fragrance they do, and I like that. No flankers. They're probably working on the absolute version eau de parfum as I speak, but I like that there's just one fragrance. It's really nice. One downside, I'm not sure how easy it is, or if at all you can get it outside of the UK. So it's available at numerous places. I'll put the company's website there, and you can get it easily in the UK, but perhaps not elsewhere around the world. So sorry to everyone else, but maybe I'm trying my little bit here. I'm trying to give it a bit more publicity, so if demand picks up, it's due to little old Mr. Smelly. If I can do my small bit to get it available around the world, I would. 10 out of 10 for me. Great fragrance. Check it out if you can. Let me know if you've tried it. As ever, whatever we're doing in life, let's project. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.